Hey everybody, hope you all had a great weekend. Mine was pretty good. Um, I just was able to, I don't know if I'd say relax, but work on some other projects in between busyness. But I think I'm ready to get a little bit done on Tactical Lizard Tamer, that's for sure. So if you were here on Monday, we had an issue where for some reason switching excuse me, the animator off of the actual prefab that comes with the Blender model onto a parent object, which to me just seems like a good idea so that animation can actually affect, for instance, sounds that we attach to this monster. Because we don't really want to put the monster on the model in case we have to delete it and reload it into the prefab if we change any of the parts of the mesh. But anyway, so there was an issue with the avatar, and it has to do with the avatar assuming that all the bones don't have this extra game object between them and the animator. So, and as far as I know, there's no way to really create an avatar in Unity without like trying to hack it together with scripts. I actually tried to do that by I created a little script here, generic avatar, and it kind of works, but you can't make a mask with it. So like if I tried to create an avatar mask and attached this avatar to it, it doesn't actually fill out anything here. So that's an issue. And then the reason that we wanted to have the mask in the first place is because we wanted the tail to be animated separately from the rest of the body. So I thought that I'd have to have avatar masks in the animator. Let's see. So like right here, I click on layers, you can set a mask. Luckily though, if you just, once I remove the avatars and the masks and everything, Egg Dino just animated perfectly. So yeah, I don't really know, because I thought that we tried this before and the Egg Dino didn't work right, and so I had to add avatar masks, but apparently not. So yeah, now it works fine. Let's move this over as well. Okay, let's look at it here in the actual game instead of the editor. So we can get a better idea of how it'll look like in the final version. And now if I pull this out so I can... I'm trying to just get a floating window. There we go. So now if we go in the parameters, I can click walk, and now they'll transition to the walking animation. Then when I take that off, it'll go back to idle. Okay, so if I remember right, I think I might have even exported the asset bundles to test walking for the Egg Dino that was loaded from an asset bundle. So I'm going to try that real quick. And again, I'll do the walk animation if it's one tile difference. What's going on? Okay, so obviously I found a bug there, but I'm not really sure what. Let's just restart it. Alright, so player 1. Try to move there, and then player 2. Okay, there we go. I don't know. Okay, so I guess I didn't export them because I don't actually have the new walk animation. We can try it. Probably a good idea. Also, eagle-eyed viewers might notice that I did mess around a bit with the camera. So I was looking, I've been researching a lot about shaders over the weekend in preparation of when we actually write the Egg Dino shader. And I was using an orthographic camera before because I want the game to kind of have a feel like they're all miniatures to kind of go with, I don't know, the Godzilla prop theme. An orthographic camera is one way to do that. The problem is if you have an orthographic camera, Unity won't let you use the deferred render pipeline, which is kind of like, I don't know, the most advanced pipeline that Unity offers for rendering. And the main, I guess, pro to that render pipeline over the other one, which is called forward rendering, is that deferred rendering lets you have unlimited number of lights, and it's also much more efficient in terms of processing power. So I'd really like to use that as our main type. And so if I ever wanted to have deferred rendering, I couldn't use an orthographic camera. So to get around that, I switched to a perspective camera, but just set the field of view very low. I think it's actually at 20 right now. So it almost looks orthographic anyway. And just when we're in the game, so that to kind of make up for the low field of view, the camera will actually be zoomed out a lot more than you would think. Like right now, the camera is actually at 45 units away, and it still looks relatively close. Because one unit is about the width of this hexagon, so that's what the field of view does. Okay, and we can see so far so good for the dinos, so I'll move it. Yeah, maybe switching perspective seemed to mess up the hitbox a bit. Let me see what's going on with it. Seems like it should still work. Wait, take this out so we can still see the editor. Okay, so the raycasting... Oh, I see. The raycasting doesn't have a long enough length because the camera's zoomed out so far. Okay, well, we can fix that just by zooming in. Oh no, they're rotated wrong now too. Okay. Actually, yeah, that must have happened when I re-imported the model. Because I think they're supposed to face towards you when you're looking from positive X. Okay, well actually, yeah, we can just look. Yeah, so they're supposed to face east, so I just need to rotate at 90 degrees. Let's pause it. I'll get rid of these objects just so I can see better. Sorry if you can hear that. We're getting garbage collection right now and they're really loud. Alright, so I want it to face this way, so if I rotate it around the y-axis... Oops, that was translation. Okay, yeah, so that should be right. Okay, so I'll apply the prefab, and now we're going to need to build asset bundles again, but let's make sure it works. Yeah, so I've been looking a lot into shaders, and I'm not One thing I'm not sure about is because Unity has this kind of like a shader generator called a surface shader. And I've used it before, but I don't know how well it's going to work with cell shading because I kind of need to have more control over the actual lighting. So it might be... I'm just going to have to look into it if I want to use a surface shader or not. Let me see. What was I trying to do? Oh yeah, I want to... I guess I'll leave that folder open. I'll just drag the new asset bundle into there. Okay, so now it looks like the orientation is more correct. And I'll just drag over here. That's fine. One other thing I noticed just now moving is that they kind of transition into walking a little slowly. So one way we could do to fix, or one thing we can do to fix that, reopen the animator. Is this transition from idle to walk right now? It has a transition time of 1/4 second. So I could just change this to 1/10 of a second. And instead of rebuilding the asset bundles, I'll just test it on the object. Let's move these over. I guess I should just move this down to this. Oh, that's not what I want to do. On that window. Okay, well that looks fine. And it starts pretty quickly after I press the button, so. Okay, so I think we're done with walking for now. Oh yeah, so we need to do the turn animation, and it's, yeah, when the egg dino just moves its position, or its rotation. So really we could kind of just use the walk animation. In fact, we might use just like a less exaggerated version of it. If I just move that there. Okay. I'm trying to think of a way to test this. It could be really nice if I didn't have to build the asset bundle to test it, but... I think if I put it on rotate... Well, the thing about it is that I think it'd make more sense if there was a left and a right version of this. Oh, that's not the right axis. Also, I'm not sure like what. Oh, so it's changing the position. Why is it doing that? Okay, so it was on the center instead of the pivot. Yeah, so we would definitely want to do it on the pivot. I mean, I guess it would kind of work, but... Trying to think about what animation I even want for this. It'd just be kind of small. Well, let's... it's hard to see it in here. I guess I will rebuild the asset bundle, and we'll just see how it works if I put rotate as the same walk animation. Alright, and now just move this over. Or is it done yet? Okay, yeah. Didn't give me an error that time. Oh, actually, I don't have the debug log open, so I don't know. Okay, so zoom out. So we want it to rotate around. And let's make this one really obvious. Okay, so let's watch closely and see what it looks like. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't like that very much. Okay, so yeah, so let's make it something new. I think I already created an empty shuffle. So let's see. The problem is we don't really know. Well, do I want to add support for this? Like it's almost like we should have a different animation for rotating clockwise and counterclockwise. I don't think we can. We can't really just mirror an animation. I think you could change the scale of the actual model without rotate it that way though. That's kind of funny. I didn't even know that would work. Maybe if he just does like little hops. Or maybe what we could do instead of having a shuffle animation is we just have him play the jump animation while it rotates, and then we do a very small move arc. I think we might end up doing something like that, but instead of the same jump animation, he'll just have like a small rotate animation, and then we'll just make the rotate speed really quick. I think that will end up looking more natural. And we won't have to have like a clockwise and counterclockwise rotation. I don't know. It won't really look more natural because nothing in real life would jump up to rotate, but I think there are games that do that. I don't know. Okay, well, let's try this and see how it looks, I guess. Alright, so we want to turn on recording. Well, in fact, let's do the jump first, and then we can even just see kind of how it looks using the jump animation as a temporary rotate animation. So what I need to do is this place. Oh, it's already there. Okay. Oh yeah, because I have that. Oh no, nothing's there right now. I was gonna say I thought I had that dummy animation there, but so for the jump animation, we don't actually want the body to move up into the air because the rest of the game will take care of that. We'll just pretend that he's up in the air. And this will play like right when he takes off, so the beginning he should be like this. We might actually want a separate land animation, but we'll see how that looks. Okay, so let's probably take pretty quickly. It would transition to being in the air. Well, we could even have like a wind up animation to jump in this game because since it's not a platformer, we don't have to have it immediately take off. That might be a good idea. So in that case, let's see. I guess it'd be crouched at this point. Let's see. Let's move the egg down and back a bit, and it also probably be rotated forward. And then the legs would also be rotated a bit, and we'll need to adjust the feet to keep it on the ground. No, that looks wrong. The whole leg should move back. Yeah, I'd actually rather have it global coordinates. That makes it a little easier to do. Okay, that looks pretty good. And of course we'll ignore the head for now. We'll come back to that. So, oh, I'm not recording. So this is all messed up that. Just undo. Okay, yeah, so before you mess animations, you need to make sure you press the record button. What's the hotkey for this? E, okay. And now the leg. Just try and make this as flat as I can. And also level. And now I want to move this back so that the feet still kind of line up. But now the leg is rotated backwards. Alright, so let's do the same thing for the other leg. I'm gonna try and make them look roughly equal. In fact, move it to wireframe. Maybe I can see better. I could copy and paste, but I don't know if something about their local transforms would get messed up if I do that, so I'm not gonna risk it. That looks good enough. So go back. Now we'll mess with the head. So it definitely needs to move down, and I think I'm gonna have it push forward a bit. And probably should rotate up because he's gonna be looking up to where he's gonna jump. And then the jaw, open up a bit. Actually, no, at this point I think his jaw would be closed. When he goes in the air, the jaw will open. Alright, and then the base of the tail will need to move forward and up a little bit and probably rotate that way. Alright, and so now he's going to quickly jump up into the air, and so I think pretty fast his body will turn more to the how it was neutrally. So if I let me just copy. Alright, so let's look and it'll probably stay there for a fraction of a second as well, so I should copy this frame to there. Alright, at this time he'll be up in the air, so I'll want to... Let's hide this plane. The one thing for sure is that his legs will be backwards. And the egg will still be rotated a little bit forward, I think. Oh, wait. So, yeah, because he'll be leaning forward. That's the way his momentum will be going, I think. But I don't want to make it too exaggerated, so that should be fine. Something like that. And then the feet, I think they'd be rotated even more downwards, but I don't want to go too crazy because the mesh will start to look weird. Okay, and now the head, let's move it down and then rotate it upwards. Maybe move it outward even more. And then the jaw will want to rotate, I think, to be open at this point. Okay, and the tail base, we just need to move to match with the shell and probably rotate like that. I don't know why his jaw is now open at all times. Oh, am I not recording it again? So if I click here, no, it's not going to do anything. Oh, how annoying. Okay, so it seems to be back to normal, so okay. Alright, let's try this again. Well, I know how I want him to look, so it should take that long. Okay, let's take that a little bit forward. The legs. Rotate forward and move them slightly forward. And then the feet, I need to have them rotate down even more and then also move them up and back. The head goes down and outwards. And then the jaw opens up. And the last thing I have to do is the tail. All right. Okay, so on here I need to make sure his mouth is still closed, so I just need to copy the jaw rotation to right here. And the feet positions need to also be the same until this point. I think this is good. So yeah, he'll basically just stay in this position until he lands. Which I think should be fine. Don't really know what else. He doesn't have any hair that needs to wave in the wind or anything, so it should be okay. Oh, maximize on play. Let's take that off. Alright, so what I wanted to do is just move this over here so we can actually see what's going on. And then I'll look at him in the game engine. So if I turn jump. Alright, so it's going to loop. I need to turn off looping. Yeah, so that's good. Now obviously right now, well, let's just test it actually. I think I know something that's going to look wrong, but what should I do for this? Shuffle is not complete right now. Well, let's not change the script. I really just don't want it to move to rotate at all right now, so I'll just remove that. So now it'll just stay in idle, which should be fine. Okay, so assets, build asset bundle. Go ahead and test this out. Okay, I guess it's done once those appear. I didn't really need to copy it, but No harm done. So what I think is going to happen, well, actually what I know is going to happen, I just don't know if it'll look fine, but the when the egg dino jumps, he's going to come off the ground immediately, even during the wind-up scene, so it's going to look weird. But, or even during the wind-up time. I really need a new UI, don't I? Oh, I should have... Okay, that's fine. But I want to make sure he does a jump animation, so I need to move him 2 tiles away. Okay, let's just zoom in close and watch how this looks. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Also, I should maybe make him like transition to some like landing thing, because we saw like right at the end his toes clipped into the ground. Anyway, let's see. The one way I can fix this is I could either have a timer, but the only bad thing about that is that it makes it dependent on however long the wind up for the specific monster is. Another way I can do it is we can use our script signals. Go to jump, and so right here when he's ready to lift off, which should I guess be right at this point, we can add a script event or animation event that receive animation signal, and I'll just say lift off. Do I really want to call it that? Maybe jump, wind up, complete. We can even just call it wind up complete, that's fine. So what we do here, we'd still set the boolean, but instead of waiting for the movement, we'd actually wait for an animation signal. So animations, actions, wait. I think it's wait for signal, but I should probably test or check that. Oh, it is in the game logic. Okay, I'll wait for signal. So it's the target, which would be the egg dino, and then the tag. Oh, don't have to do a semicolon in Lua. Alright, so just wait for that, and then it would start the arc, the movement. Alright, so I am going to need to rebuild it because of the signal. But before we do that, let's go ahead and add in something else here. I don't really know how long to keep him like this. But at some point he'll need to transfer to having his feet forward to get ready to land. It'd be nice if the animation maybe knew if the jump reached its peak, and then it would change. But we don't have support for that right now, so... Oh, do I even want to do anything without that support? Just noticed something. That avatar creator script is capitalized in a weird way. If you... Yeah, I think I need to change it. I don't want to open it all. I accidentally double clicked. So I just need to change the name here in Windows, and you have to do it for both the actual file and the meta file. Capitalization errors are kind of annoying because Unity thinks it's helping you by fixing the capitalization randomly, but I actually want it like that. Anyway, so what I really want to do is have some way that we can wait just until the apex of the arc, or the movement arc. I guess we could do that by having another wait handle. That's interesting. What we'd actually have to do is for move arc is return 2 waits, one for the arc, and then one like for halfway, and then one for totally complete. Which in Lua you can return 2 values. I forget the syntax for that in C#. Obviously we don't support that right now. Okay, well that's going to be something to add. I guess we'll come back. It's gonna, if I add it here, I think I'll forget about it. Okay, so wait handle for halfway along an arc movement animation. Yeah, halfway along an arc is the same as being at the apex. Well, not necessarily actually, because if they start at different heights, technically it's not the same, but I think actually the way I implement the arc movement, it is halfway, so. Yeah, so we'll need to do that at some point, and in that case, yeah, in that case we need to break this up into 2 animations that they just blend between. Well, we can still handle that right now. So what I should do here is create another state, and this will be, I guess, landing. And we'd make a transition. Okay, and this one won't have an exit like condition, it'll just exit at a specific time. I guess, I don't know, half a second. And then what do we want the transition to be? And then I should make another transition back to here, which does not have an exit time. And then we'll want to add when jump is false, we'd move back to idle. Okay, yeah, fixed duration is what you need. Yeah, fixed duration is if these are in absolute time and not percentages of the total duration. Okay, so now we can create a new landing animation. Let's do it in the Egg Dino folder. And really this will just have one frame because it's going to be transitioned into, so I'll just turn this on. And here it's going to be kind of reverse of what we had before. The egg will be rotated backwards. And the legs also, because basically he's trying to brace for impact. And then the feet, they would be, well, that actually looks fine like how it is. I don't think they'd be like flat with the ground, no, because he's trying to like I said, brace for impact. And then the head, you'll want to be looking downwards, so I'll move this up and rotate. It looks a bit a bit weird just because I know that his anatomy inside the... We can't actually look anyway, he's blind inside the egg, but it's the thought that counts, I guess. And then for here, the tail. And we'll need to rotate it back like that. Okay, and I think that's it. Alright, so let's go ahead and test this animation in just by clicking these debug buttons. And if it works fine, we can rebuild the asset bundle. So again, I'll just want to move this over. Okay, well that's fine. Okay, so first we go jump, yeah, and then in a... Okay, for one thing, I think this is not long enough. And I think the transition's too fast. Well, I don't need to change both of them though. That did not seem to do what I thought it would. I thought if I made this longer... I don't want to offset. Maybe I don't know exactly what these times mean, because what I thought this meant is that it would transition at a specific time. But it seems like one is actually going to the end of the jump animation. Oh, that's because I don't have fixed on. Okay, so I guess exit time always is based on the end of the animation and not absolute, but the transition duration can be absolute. So I guess I'll need to change that to 2. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, that's kind of more what I want. But I think that the jump is not going to be long enough in game, which is why I need that apex weight, but this should be fine. Oop, gotta exit, and okay, it did save my settings after I exited the game. Or exited play, I should say. So now we'll build the asset bundles and test how it looks with an actual move. Is it done? Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I forgot since I didn't move these out. I copied it last time, I couldn't tell when the file was created, so it's an issue. Let's go ahead and hide this now so I don't have to do it when I actually enter play mode. So now what should happen is when... Oh, okay. I thought that was an error because it seemed to take a while. When they do a jump, it should wait until it receives that signal. gosh, I really need to... Maybe after this we'll update the interface because it's really horrible right now. I need to do the camera as well. But yeah, I'll wait until it does a signal and then jump. And we'll see what it looks like when it tries to go into landing mode. Well, that actually worked out pretty well. I think one weird thing is that the sound isn't synchronized with when it actually jumps. It's synchronized when the wind up starts. So if I move that, that should help. Oh, I think it played twice. Did I not delete the first? Okay, yeah, that's kind of silly mistake. Let's do it one more time. At least when you change a script, Unity doesn't even have to recompile. That's one of the major benefits of using Lua or some other scripting language. Okay, that's a lot better now that the sound is synchronized, I think. It doesn't feel weird like it did before. Okay, now since that jump was shorter, the landing animation didn't have much time to play. Okay. Yeah, so I think I really do need to know when it reaches the top of an arc. Because the animations and the movement need to be kind of synchronized, so in order to do that. So we could just return both. I think that might be best. Another option would be to return an object that contains both. That's not very Lua-ful though. Just coined a word, Lua-ful. Let's see. So I forget. I need to find the syntax in Moon Sharp to return two objects. Moon Sharp return two values. Should be somewhere in here. Get the number. That's not what I want. Okay, that's calling a script. Okay, yeah, we know all that stuff. Standing data type, so tuples. Lua can, okay, yeah, Lua can return multiple values from a function. To handle this, a special dynamic value type tuple is used. A tuple has a tuple property, which is an array of dynamic value objects, which are the members of the tuple. Okay, so all we have to do is return a tuple. So this is actually the same. So move linear doesn't have this arc, so I guess that's a little bit of separate code that we'll need to do for them. Okay, so private void move common. And I guess it'd have all this Because really the only difference will be the weight handles. Although when we do this, let me see. So maybe instead of calling this, we'll just create the movement command. Okay, so that's the same. I just we won't do any weight handles. And then we won't actually send the command yet. Okay, so I'll set that to -1, and then also... Oh, this is... So another problem I just realized is since we're going to have 2 weights associated with 1 command. Well, that's not a huge deal, but right now, for example, the stored animation only supports 1 weight, I think. But I guess we could just move this to have 2 indexes. Because I think, yeah, scripts use this to tell the weight index. Public int index 2. What is this? Action Gen Script Manager. Is this even used? I don't remember what the script does at all. So it is created. Maybe... Okay, let's see. So valid time to call. Yeah, it's like calling a Lua script, but... Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the script handler for actions. And not animations, that's what I was getting confused about. But then why is it adding in a sequence here? Oh, because it's telling, yeah, the animation sequence when to play an action. Okay. Or when to, I guess play, when to execute an action. Okay. I don't know, I had a brain fart there. It's not really too difficult. Okay, so... Yeah, the reason I went down there is because I was trying to see all the uses of this index. So this is saying it's that the last action is at that point. Okay, yeah, so the index is actually used for more than just a weight. But I guess we can just have this index too. It's not that difficult to deal with. Or I could have a list of indexes if I really wanted, but... The other option is just that we'd have 2 separate animations, but that doesn't really make much sense. like a half arc. Okay, so this will be the complete weight handle, and then I'll have apex weight handle. And basically everywhere that this is used, I'm going to make sure that it also takes the apex weight handle into account. Yeah, we'll deal with that soon. Okay, so I could just have another reference here. Or index 2 is not going to be used that often, so yeah, so they always have a complete weight handle, and if command dot apex weight handle is greater than or equal to 0, then we'll just get the last value in the stored animations. Sequence animations sequence count -1 dot index 2 is command apex weight handle, so we'll just deal with that. Okay, and the mover, we'll add that second. Okay, so the actions, we don't need to mess with that. Just did this. So the execution, if we're gonna move, we might need to do the index 2. So I don't want to delete that, just copy it. And then if animation index 2 is greater than or equal to 0, then we'll need to set animation weight. Okay, another thing I need to do is make sure this index 2 is always initialized to -1. The best way to do that would probably just add a constructor. This is a little bit more obvious. Okay, so now that's taken care of. And that's all fine. Execute sequence entry. Okay, yeah, so this checks if an animation is complete. Yeah, if it's a weight type. So we don't have to worry about the movement for that. Okay, this will actually be useful because like for animation sequences, I was thinking that they might want to have like a timer also. So we could have a stored animation which is like either weight, and so if either weight is gets sent, then we would continue on with the animation. But I won't worry about that just yet. And I guess we should print out the index 2 here. Okay, so let's do the linear mover now. And so all it really needs to keep track of is the apex weight handle. And since right now, yeah, I kind of fake it. It's not an actual like parabolic trajectory arc. It's just uses this math. And so the apex is always at halfway complete. So, yeah, because y equals 1 at t equals 1/2. So how would I... I guess I'll need to keep another state here. Private bool or non-su public. Apex reached. Okay, so if move apex reached is false and p is greater than or equal to 1/2, make that float, then we'll want to send wait. Oh, I also should check to make sure that it even has an apex wait handle. And also that the arc height is greater than 0. Oh, well, no, let's not do that. So this would be apex weight handle. Okay, yeah, so this is right, correct? So yeah, if it has a weight handle and apex reach has not been reached, and then it's greater than 1/2, then of course I need to set apex reach to true. All right, and let's see. I think that's everything. So I just need to go back to the animations and actually update these functions to do that. So move linear, it would actually just call move common now. And we get the movement command. Well, I mean, they both have just a complete weight, so I can still use this. Although now I don't have a reference to that, so just for ease of use. Okay, so linear has it simple. I don't even need to get a reference to that. I can just put the command complete weight handle as the out value, and then we'll return that. Oh, except I have to actually register this movement now. It's a little bit more complicated for the arc, though. Okay, I don't really know why these are named differently, but cat just jumped by and dropped far all over my face. Alright, just a sec. I think she wants to get out now and get something to eat. I'll be right back. All right. She was hungry, I think. So let's see. Let's change this to complete return. And then I need to set up also one for apex return. Okay, and now we have async request for both. And then instead of us returning that, we'd return dynamic value tuple. That's a new tuple. And then we just pass the two values here. Okay, so now let's just test it. I think, because the way Lua works is that if you only get the first, only save the first value from a return, even if it returns 2, this should still work. And so this would just be the complete return. And to get the second one, I need to either do something like local and just throw away the first value, or you can use a function called select. So we select 2, and this would get the second return argument from this function, or not argument, second return value. But let's make sure that everything still works right now. It should, hopefully, unless I made a bug, there should be no difference. Okay, animation release when not outstanding 0. Oh, I think I know what's going on there. So the animation script manager, let's see, do movement. Where does the wait handle first get registered? Oh, right here. Yeah, but we're in logging, so... yeah, that should be fine. Did I not set something? Oh, you know what? I think Apex wait handle... oh no, I do set it to -1. Alright, let's log both of these. Debug log, command complete, and Apex. Well, actually, I could just look in the debug, I think, but... so what was the exception? Yeah, animation release when not outstanding, and it was index 0, which doesn't seem right. The linear mover at 111, which is probably... yeah, wait handle, Apex wait handle. You know what? I don't actually set this value, that's the issue. So I have the complete wait handle right here, but I don't actually set the Apex wait handle from the command. So command dot Apex wait handle, and then I guess I should set Apex reach to false. And I think that will be fine. That should fix the error actually, because how was happening before is this was always 0, and so even if Apex wait handle was 0, which was meant it was at the default value, it would trigger this. Actually, probably the wait handle is something else. I guess we'll see in a second. All right, and then okay, but how come they're not moving? I mean, I think that worked fine in the animation, but they're not moving upwards anymore. Probably. Oh, I think yeah, I passed 0 and I should actually pass the arc height. I guess I need to look really close at the animations. Oh, actually no, because I haven't actually hooked up the animations to the arc height yet. Let's just make sure. Oh, I actually ended up walking that way, but yeah, the timing almost syncs perfectly, but it's not actually hooked up to the arc height. But there's no errors, so. So we actually want to wait on the arc. Well, we need both. So let's see. Local, all wait, and apex wait. So the wait, which is what we pass down here, is the total complete wait, but then we also want to wait until the apex is reached. Because when this is done, we would set Boolean jump apex to true. Alright. And then I guess down here when everything's done, we want to also set this to false just to reset it. Oop. Yeah, in Visual Studio Code, Control-Shift-S is actually save as, where in most text editors I'm used to, it's save all, so I tend to press it a lot. Anyway, so now in the Egg Dinos animator, we need to go and support that new path. So we have to create a new parameter. It's actually... well, we could just make it a trigger. So jump apex. That way we don't have to worry about resetting it ourselves. And here, instead of having an exit time, we'll set condition jump apex. And so, yeah, now I could just say set trigger, and I don't have to pass anything. And the difference between a trigger and a Boolean is that once some animation state takes a trigger, it's automatically set back to false. So we don't have to worry about doing it ourselves. Just to make sure everything works like this. I'll go ahead and test it. So we're going to be jumping, and then we reach the apex. And then when jump is false, we move back to idle. That's perfect. Alright, so build asset bundle. And when it appears here, we can move it over. Alright. I should have hidden this object, but I guess it doesn't matter a whole lot. Okay, so that move there. That looks really good, actually. Okay. So now last thing we need to do is the rotation, because obviously something needs to happen. It can't just stay in the idle, because that looks really weird at least. So we have a couple things we could do. But now that we've added more to the jumping, it seems like that would be a bit more complex than needed for a rotation. I think like the most natural would be if I could somehow get it so that it would look okay just if he kind of like shuffles his feet. Okay, well let's try it out. I'm just having trouble trying to picture Egg Dino doing that. Alright, and I'll make sure to turn animation on. So I don't even know if he needs to lift his feet up. Another problem is obviously clockwise and counterclockwise rotations would look slightly different. Because what I would want to do here is like have him kind of look to the side that he's rotating towards. Well, it's not like that'd be that difficult to do. We just have to have two. And then we'd have a separate function. Let's start here and see how that would work. So local rotate animation. Okay, and we want to pass the user, and I guess the rotate target. And I guess that's it. We can write that way, but for local functions, I like this syntax better. Is that it? Okay, so what we'd actually do, first we'd set rotate to true. Although I guess now we need to know if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. So we need to get the user's current rotation and then somehow check if rotating to this other angle would be clockwise or counterclockwise. I guess that would be something in facing utilities. And now I'm gonna have to do angle math again. Okay, let's get rid of that window. So public boolean I guess I'll say rotate towards our direction. I don't know. Maybe rotation direction. Okay, gosh, that direction was spelled way strangely. Rotation direction. So again, we'll have, I guess, well, it'd either be a facing or a float for an angle. So dynamic value, I'll use that. Start and target. And then we'll either we'll just return a string clockwise or counterclockwise. So if okay, let's see. Private float, get angle. So if value type is user data, then we'll need to make sure it's a monster for now. Well, no, it needs to be a facing. So facing is value. Okay, I know this to object throws an error if it can't do it, so I'm trying to remember the correct way. So facing is null. Then we'll throw new script runtime exception. Must pass okay, let's wait. So Boolean found is false. Found is true, and oh, actually I don't even have to do this. I can just return right now. So we'd return facing dot angle. Okay, and I guess I should use a switch here instead of an if. So case, why didn't that work? Case, it's not filling that in. Okay, so data type. What's wrong with this? Oh, it just needs a break. And then number. We'll just return the actual value in the dynamic value. I guess it's in radians, isn't it? And I also want to make sure that it's like within the range of... well, maybe that won't matter. I was gonna say it might be easier if I make sure that it's within a range of 0 to 2 pi, but we'll see. So throw new script runtime exception. Must pass a number or facing. Okay, so float start angle is get angle, and target angle all right. So I think, does Unity have an easy way to do this? Let's see. Unity CF 2D rotation is clockwise. I don't think this is... okay, that's fine and all. Determining is clockwise or not. Okay, this is what I want to do. Okay, yeah, so this gives us like the angle, but I don't think you can... Like the thing is, you can't like just check if this is positive or negative because, for instance, if we start at, I don't know, 350 and we want to go to 0, that would be the rotation that way would be counterclockwise, but it would still be negative. Or is that how I want to do it actually? Determine if... Okay, yeah, this seems like what I want to do. If the angle was 90... Okay. Oh yeah, so it's basically a cross product. I thought it was something like that. Need to check using the 2D analog of cross product whether C lies to the left or right. Yeah, so I thought it was cross product, but could even just use, I don't know, this seems fine. Oh, this is using vectors. Well, I guess we could just use, there's got to be a way to do it with angles. I thought that Unity, the reason I even looked it up is because I thought Unity would have like a helper function here. Because they have a bunch of stuff you can do with angles, but... this is why quaternions are so much easier because it doesn't matter if it's clockwise or not. Yeah, so I think this would work. But I'm gonna have to transform them into vectors, which I guess isn't that big of a deal. Okay, so vector 2 start vector is new. Vector 2 mathf cosine start angle start angle okay, same thing. All right, and now we have oh yeah, so it I think C is just the center, isn't it? So oh okay. No, so A is the rotation center. So just bx times cx, because A is 0 for this, and then by times, oh, so it's a dot product? No, it's not. So it's bx times cy, and then by times cx. Okay, so right, if this is telling if it's to the left, what does it? Yeah, the value might not even matter because I know I have to. We want to make sure that the angles proceed. I forget how I did the angles. Yeah, so angle 0 is due east, and okay, it rotates counterclockwise. So yeah, because we just used mathematical. Okay. Okay, so I actually don't really need this vector thing. I feel like this math is going to be way wrong. What's it wrong? What's wrong with this? Okay, and so yeah, I might not actually test this on stream because I don't want to spend forever, and I have a feeling that this isn't going to work. But anyway, so this would be Boolean counterclockwise. And then if counterclockwise, we'd return counterclockwise. Yeah, not bool, it should be a string. Again, I don't need this anymore. So yeah, that's all it does. Multiply these, and if it's greater, I don't know. But anyway, this will be fine for now. So if facing utilities, rotation, direction, user dot facing and rotate target is clockwise. I should probably do all capitals actually. Oh yeah, and you don't need the parentheses and Lua around F. Okay, so anyway, then we would set Boolean, I guess rotate clockwise to true. And we want to return that weight. Rotate counterclockwise to true. And so then we'd have to set both to false when it's done. Let's see. So well, both of these are the same, so I think I can maybe make this a little better. So we'll have speed there. We won't actually return. Let's see. So and actually, setting Boolean doesn't even return anything, so that was kind of pointless. So I think I can bring this entire block in here because we rotate twice, which is why I'm trying to put this in a different function, but both times we rotate and immediately just wait for it to be complete. Okay, so speed, and then wait for that, and then we need to set both of these rotate booleans to false. Okay, so do rotate animation, user, jump facing, and math pi. And then this last one, we rotate to final facing. Okay, so let's make sure this works before I mess with this anymore. Well, I guess... Okay, well, I shouldn't... Well, no, actually, we'll throw an arrow on it because the rotate clockwise and rotate counterclockwise tags don't exist anymore. Yeah. Must pass a number or facing. That's a little... Wasn't expecting that. Okay, so... User facing and then the rotate target. Did I spell it right? Because this isn't blue here. I guess that's normal. Oh, the parenthesis. It was I was sending a boolean to the second argument. Okay, so I know... Yeah, parameter rotate clockwise does not exist on Dino. I knew that would happen. Okay, so yeah, I need to get rid of this rotate. It's okay. So yeah, rotate clockwise. And rotate counterclockwise. Yeah, so I don't know if it would be worth it to make 2 animations all the time, but I'll try it out for Egg Dino. Okay. Oh yeah, this should be false to go back. Counterclockwise, and I need to make... Yeah, the only one thing I don't like about this is I don't think you can copy transitions, which is kind of a pain. It'd be really nice if you could. That's why in most of my games before this, I tend to not use the transitions because, well, most of my previous games were all sprite based, so they didn't actually have animation blending. And you can just tell the animator to move to a certain state immediately whenever you want in code, instead of having to mess around with all these transitions. False, true. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so now the shuffle, I should change it to... Well, let's change it to rotate clockwise. And I'll just duplicate it and make rotate counterclockwise. And I'll just go ahead and insert that in here. Okay. Now neither of these animations should be that difficult to make. I hope not anyway. Because I kind of have an idea how I want it to look now. I think really, like, he's not even going to really pick up his feet. He's just going to kind of swivel them. So let's see. Let's do, I guess, This will be clockwise first, so one thing I definitely want is that his head will be rotated just a bit that way. And it's clipping, so I need to move it. And probably, since he's looking somewhere, I think it would be a little better if his mouth was open. Oh, I'm not recording again? Okay, at least I didn't get that far. And maybe move his snout slightly out. It's clipping a bit. Okay, and to start, I guess his feet should be like this to start, but pretty quickly he'll rotate them. Oh, I guess I do one leg at a time. How would this work? Would he... I think one foot would be shuffled, and then the other one would come to meet it, and then they both pull. Oh wait, no, I think... Yeah, when one is rotating outward, the other one would be rotating back to its original place. Let's move this keyframe a bit more. And then here, the leg would move back to its original position. Whereas the left leg would be rotated more here. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Okay, and yeah, this should actually be like that. Okay, it looks a little weird like here because he's not actually moving, but I think it'll look fine in game. Let's test it. I guess for now, right here, just to be a little more natural, I think I'll close his jaw. So he'll be more like breathing instead of just... Oh, I don't have it tested, obviously. Or recording. Oh, right, it has to loop back to open. I don't know, maybe I won't do that after all. Because he's not going to be in this animation very long, so it'll be fine. Okay, and clockwise we'll just leave for now. Looks funny. And again, I'm not confident in that code I have, so I think I'm going to set this to also just use the clockwise animation just to test it. And before I rebuild the asset bundle, I'll make sure that it blends okay. Okay, that should be fine. I don't know if I want to make the egg bob up and down a little bit. It's not like he's going to be in it for that long. And yeah, I guess he's like very concentratingly trying to rotate around, so that's why he's staying still. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to be happy with that. All right, so let's see. Well, it's building. I think we'll have just enough time to test this animation and maybe make that counterclockwise one. Really, we've got, I think, the bulk of the animations done after this. What else? Well, he'll need like a attacking animation and a damage received animation, but they should be relatively simple. On the coding side, anyway. Alright, I guess I'll do there, because then I'll have... Uh-oh. A bug. A legal argument type passed a target rotation must be a facing or a number. Oh, this jump facing is bad. Yeah, I just need to pass rotate target. Alright, let's hide this one. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, they're so fast. Maybe the transition should be a little quicker. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Is the tail... Yeah, the tail's clipping. That's because in the idle animation, the tail anchor doesn't move yet, I think. Alright, so a couple things. We want to fix that, and probably also blending into and out of rotation should be a little faster. And then animation, so idle, we want to... Basically that's fine, but here the tail base needs to be rotated like that a bit. Oh, again, I did not record. Okay, and then yeah, I have to copy and paste it. It seems like there's got to be some way to have them automatically loop, but I guess there'd be no real way to control the timing. Okay, so let's test out that idle thing and make sure that the tail doesn't do something weird. Okay, so yeah, this one's clipping. This one doesn't... It's still... It's not perfect. Let's try it one more time. Okay, that's better. It's not clipping, but it's still dangerously close, but it's okay. Is it like... Oh, it's because I'm animating that's going to be overridden, but... Yeah, it is. It's definitely affected by the animations. It just like always stays really close to the edge. I guess that's okay. All right, so now I need to make the clockwise rotation real quick, or counterclockwise, I should say. And it'll be basically the same as clockwise, but flipped. I wonder if I can copy and paste. Ooh, I can. Okay, so really what I need to do is just reverse everything. So let's do that. Okay, so if I flip the Z, it doesn't work perfectly. Because I also translated M. Oh, this would be X actually. Okay, no. Y. There we go. And the jaw can stay the same. And then the legs, I think I'll just need to redo them because it will be, I'll need to lead with his other leg. Okay, so here, yeah, right, so clockwise. Oh, no, actually the other one starts first. I guess it doesn't matter a whole lot. Well, that's probably because it's going to be blending right now, so it'll look like he's moving this leg. Okay, so to make it symmetric. At this frame, the trailing leg would be rotated, something like that. And I want to make sure that they're, yeah, so it's pretty much pointing at the other nail. I could probably go a bit more actually. Okay, and then at 15, this one goes straight. And then the other leg rotates outward. It doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes I get too hung up on trying to make things perfectly symmetrical, but yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so let's turn off that. And again, I don't really think this works right. I'm gonna need to test it more thoroughly. But we're almost out of time anyway. Let's just well, no reason to rebuild the bundle if I don't even know that works. But I think we are done. I went ahead and did that actually. So I guess I'll just test rotation, direction, function. I'll probably do that off stream if I have some downtime today. Okay, and then tomorrow we'll work on the colors at least. Like I said, I don't know if we'll do the shader, so we might move on to something else depending on if I feel like I'm ready to tackle the shader or not. What else? What would be the next project? Probably, I'd like to get back to some terrain as well. Maybe make some actual completed graphics since we have a nice looking egg dino. Try and make him have a little grassy field. And then of course we have all this Lua scripting, and I have a lot of code cleanup I need to do, but maybe we'll take on one or two of these things at a time, because I know they're not the most exciting, but also I have a fun stream project that I want to implement. I'm not sure when we'll get to it, but I'll just keep that a secret for now. Just get excited for it, I guess. But I think that's it for me for tonight, or not tonight, for today. Thanks everybody for coming out and watching. I really appreciate it. Of course, if you enjoyed the stream, feel free to follow me here on Twitch or my Twitter. I also have a YouTube channel where I upload all previous streams, so if you missed out on anything and you'd like to catch up, you can go ahead and check it out there. And finally, I have a Discord server. We'd really love to have you there to chat. I try to be pretty active there throughout the day, but yeah, I'd love to have you there as well. I'll have links in chat, or you can also check out my video description. And I think that's it for me. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope to see you tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.